Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Random Thoughts by EJBJ. So, we just found out that after Netflix made its move to buy Warner Brothers, Paramount has fired back with $108.4 billion hostile bid for Warner Brothers. Paramount is offering, like I said, 108.4 billion, which is far higher than Netflix's $82.7 billion bid. Um, the difference is Paramount wants to buy all of Warner Brothers, including the entire TV business. Netflix's offer only targeted select assets, not the whole company, mainly the television, movie studios, and the streaming service HBO Max. Um, here are my thoughts. Here are my thoughts on this situation. Netflix, in my opinion, I feel like Warner Brothers and their board felt their offer was the better deal overall because they plan to split the TV and movie studios plus the streaming services into a separate entity, which Netflix will buy. The the broadcast television stations like CNN, TNT, Discovery, all that stuff will become uh, Discovery Global, which they will then sell to someone else. My thoughts is, I know Paramount wanted the whole thing for 108 billion, but Warner Brothers more than likely will probably be able to get the same, if not more, for Discovery Global. They'll probably be able to get about 80 or 60 to 80 billion dollars of value for those assets as well. So you're talking about somewhere between a total amount of 160 to 200 billion dollars possibly, depending on how much they get for those assets. I think what Paramount is doing is probably going to set themselves up for failure because even if they do somehow convince uh, Warner Brothers to sell to them instead, one, uh, they would have to pay Netflix $2.8 billion for backing out of the contract that they already signed, which is a big no to me. Um, I think Paramount, if they became the owners of the company, a lot of the people who work for Warner Brothers probably would be let go, which would be very unfortunate. And I think people who are fans and people who work for Warner Brothers kind of want to see the company pretty much stay together how it is because they've been successful for the most part, especially in their TV and movie studios, as far as especially HBO and HBO Max. Now, if you want to talk about CNN and TNT and Discovery and all those other things, um, they're pretty much staples in households who still watch regular cable television. So how would those people feel knowing that Paramount basically, took over the company hostily, and now they're, I guess, in a sense, kind of changed the way that things have always been done. I don't know. I don't know if that would go over well, and it definitely probably won't go over well for the stockholders, or however they, if they decide to make um, or fold Warner Brothers into Skydance and Paramount, and because I'm not sure if they're a publicly traded company, but I believe they are. And Larry Ellison, the co-founder of Oracle, his son would basically be running um, Skydance, Paramount, and Warner Brothers. So yeah, I don't know, and I will say I am a fan of Netflix. I love the value that they bring. I love the way that they cater to their customers. There's a lot more people watching Netflix than there are cable television now. A lot more people watching Netflix around the world than there are that go to the movie theater. Some people can't go to the movie theaters or haven't been to the movie theaters in years. It's not to say that movie theaters aren't special. I think they have their place. But we're not watching TV series. We're not watching, you know, uh, lifetime movies. Movies that are great to have on, and you keep coming back to them. You can rewind. Like, let's be honest. Most people, if you go to the movie theater, you go for really the experience. You're not going because you want to see a movie. I mean, unless it's like I say, a blockbuster movies like an Avengers, or Zootopia, Moana. And that's the thing. Those are those Disney, those Warner Brothers experiences. Um, but as a whole, if we're looking at it from the perspective of what can give you the highest value, I do believe that Netflix offers that, because one, the great thing about Netflix is you can consume their content in the palm of your hands, and Netflix has always been a company that they do their best to bring things to you, even when they were mailing the DVDs to you and you receive it in your mailbox. That's how I discovered Netflix, and I just thought that was cool. Like, not having to go to, you know, a blockbuster or some rental uh movie store, which I didn't mind, when I was younger, but not having to do that because they just started disappearing, mainly because of Netflix. But I just thought it was so convenient, and they had movies that I had never even seen or heard of before. So I think it's a good thing, and I just think that's where we're going. We're going to a place where movies, TV shows, all those things will be available instantaneously. There's not going to be a waiting period, and then not that long. Now, when that happens, maybe you might have to pay a little bit more, but when you think about how much cable costs nowadays, I mean, if you have multiple TVs, uh, and you have, a really good package where you can see TVs, TV shows, sports, and all that other things, it's going to cost you anywhere from 150 to, maybe $300 a month. So just think about that. And now Netflix will have assets where they can basically create a situation where you can be entertained all day if you choose on their streaming service. They offer news services. They're going to be offering, anime, games, movies, TV, streaming shows, everything. And like I said, the days of movies going to theaters and you having to wait 2-3 months before you can watch it at home, those days are over. You know, And I think people need to accept that. And I think it's for the greater good. Because one, let's just be honest. The amount that these movie theaters are charging for popcorn, for food, for a regular drink are crazy. Now, I understand it's the experience, just like when you go see a baseball or a football game or a basketball game. It's ridiculous for a family of four. You're just to go to the movie theater. It's going to cost you either close to or $100. That's a lot of money when you can just watch that same movie at home for probably what $20-$25 a month. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I feel like Netflix has the better overall chances of retaining the rights to buy the Warner Brothers TV studios, and we're not even talking about DC. DC Comics. They're also going to own the rights to DC Comics and everything that comes with that. Batman, Superman, The Flash, Wonder Woman. I mean, I, I'm just going to be biased. I hope Netflix does get it because I think Skydance and Paramount are really good companies, but if I had a preference, I would just say that I prefer Netflix, just personally because of the way I consume media. But I mean, let me know what your thoughts are. You can leave those in the comments, and of course, we can talk about it on a different day. And that's all for now. And hope you enjoy your day. And that's all for Random Thoughts by EJBJ. Well, all right.